Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing The Adventures of Spam, a very silly idea for a comic I had years ago, and I thought, why not? So, hope you're all doing very well, and you've got your cup of tea, and you're ready to rock and roll just like I am. So, the idea for this silly comic book was Spam stood for Specialized Protection Against Monsters. And I always thought that was just really funny. It was called Spam in a can. So this is, I don't know the name of this guy. I have no idea for the story whatsoever. It was just something that used to make me laugh, and I used to do little caricatures of these characters for friends and family, and that was it really. I just always really liked it. So that's what I'm doing today. So we're gonna have a little bit of a long video. I'm just going to do lots of nattering, lots of rambling, and I mean, that's exactly it. It is every single video, so no difference there. Yeah, hope you're all doing well. So, at the time of this video, we have nearly hit a crazy amount of subscribers. I think we're not far off from hitting 600, which is impossible when I think about, go back a couple of months, and we had our starting 3 little subscribers, which were friends and family, and even then it was just so amazing that I had people supporting me, let alone so many more people now. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything. It's been a blast. Really enjoying just drawing these silly little things, and people seem to be enjoying it. And I just want to say thank you again for all the support, the kindness, and the lovely words and thoughts. And also a big thank you to the person who helps me do everything behind the scenes and all the editing, because otherwise I don't think these videos would be even possible, because I have no idea what I'm doing with technology. As most of you, if you've seen a few of my videos before, you'll know, because I usually forget to do very basic things like focus the phone, or sometimes I forget to clear the storage on it, and then I film nothingness, which has happened more times than I'd like to admit. Anyway, we live and we learn. I mean, hopefully, right? Right. So this, I've got no real plan for I've got a little bit of a plan, but it's all Judge Dredd sort of inspired, grumpy dude, just looking at some sort of creature. And I guess there's kind of a sci-fi Men in Black sort of feel to this as well, where, it seems very, the idea of the story was everyone kind of knew that there was monsters in the world, and it was just sort of normal thing. Everyone was just like, oh, another monster. Oh, have to close down work today because there's a giant cephalopod attacking everyone. It's just like a minor inconvenience. I always thought that was quite funny. It's just so normal. It's kind of like, got a spider in the living room sort of thing. And as I was drawing this, I kind of thought about that, because the other day I was laying on a sofa, and I don't know, I felt something tickle my arm, and I always presume it's just a dog hair, because, my dog molts throughout the year horrendously, and didn't think anything of it. Nearly spoke words. And, a couple of minutes later, I felt something again, and I was like, what is that? I looked down, couldn't see anything, and I was like, oh, okay. And then about a minute later, there was something on my arm, and I looked, and there was this bug, and I kind of freaked out a little bit, even though, I pretend I didn't, and, to everyone I'm very tough, and, don't worry about that sort of thing. And I jumped up, and it disappeared, and I thought, oh, what was it? And about 10 minutes later, I look up, and there's this giant beetle on the ceiling. So obviously, this little dude has inspired. Oh, I've got that itch on the back of my neck now. Do you ever get that? So yeah, but so this is inspired by that little bug, which I've called Marv the bug, which I thought was quite cute. So yeah, sorry, that was just a very pointless little story, but I thought I'd share. Yeah. Cool. So I'm just doing it's kind of like basic inking, and I'm just kind of enjoying this one. So it might be a little bit longer than usual, and I could do it more sketchy. It tends to turn out better anyway if I do it sketchy, but at the moment I'm just enjoying doing the little details. Oh, I need to actually put to the side the big pen so I can actually color things in, and I don't know where it is, and I don't want to stop, so be one of those videos. He's got his little radio. Nice. His little dangly bit sort of make a noise. Yeah, but like most videos I've done, sort of not worrying about getting it just right or perfect. It's more about just having a bit of fun and, having people join me in my little silly rants. Yeah, cool. And we'll do like a little clip or something. I don't really know what that is. Cool. And this other little shoulder pad. I hope that makes sense, sort of what's going on in the image. I think it does anyway. Hang on, maybe I do have the pen. No, I don't. Never mind. Doobie-doos. Oh, the doobie-doos are out. Once again, the doobie-doos have come to join us as we colour in sections that I should definitely use a larger pen for. This is a historical issue I've had for years, don't worry. I have not learned from it whatsoever. Oh, and perfect timing, the boiler has gone off. So if you can hear that, my apologies. It's very loud and very noisy. Cool. Cool, right. We're going to do it really scratchy, the borders of this comic. We're not going to worry too much about getting it just right. As long as we can kind of see what's going on. And yeah, whenever I do borders, I always like to have them sort of interacting annoyingly with what's going on in the image as well. I think some people don't really like it, but that's okay. It's something I've always done and kind of dig it, so I don't worry too much about getting it just right and straight lines and rulers and whatnot. So otherwise, I find myself really getting a bit panicky, I guess. Anyway, so what's being said here is HQ ... I found Marv. Marv's the name of this bug creature thing. I think you can see that, okay? Yeah, it's fine. And then he's been busy. You'll see what I mean. I guess in the story, this is like a monster that they, spam are very aware of, and they've had run-ins before with him, and I suppose I suppose that maybe they got away before the first time, or maybe the second time, and now it's becoming a bit of a pain. Maybe he's just gotten bigger and bigger, and now he's actually a bit of a problem. Cool. Alright, down here as well, over here as well. Oh, no, shouldn't have done that bit. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can kind of pretend I knew what I was doing there. Alright, cool. I've just realised I've done it sort of block inky, this character here. But I think it's going to be better if I do it really scratchy and messy for the actual giant bug. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix of styles in one image, which I don't know how I feel about just yet, but we'll have to find out. So, right, big, lovely bug chap. Let's go. Yeah, lots of nice sharp teeth. Nice pearly whites. And, he clearly looks after his teeth. He flosses, And some nice teeth down here. Some lovely gnashes. Look at that. Bet the dentist think, oh, Marv, you've got some wonderful wonderful set of pearls there. Oh, that went a little bit country then. Pearls. And I've decided what sort of eyes old Marv will have, so we'll have to figure that out in a little bit. Maybe, some little eyelashes as well. Cool. And I don't know what this little bit was. It's kind of like, originally it was a big skeleton creature, and then as I was drawing, I was like, oh, you know what? We haven't talked about this very silly comic book idea I had years ago. We should definitely do that. Actually, that's quite nice with just shade in there, isn't it? But I don't know. I forgot what I was doing there. Right. Cool. These are sort of like frown lines, if that makes sense. Like I said, it's a bit scratchy, so it might look rubbish, but doesn't really matter, I don't think, sometimes. This is just a little bit of a warm-up drawing for later on. I have a few drawings I'd like to try and get done today if all goes well. That is the plan anyway. I'm going to do a little bit of shading on the undersides of these, I don't know, what's the name of these? Amanda? No? Not Amanda, that's a ridiculous thing to say. No, the manacles. Manacles? Is that right? I need to fact check that. I can't remember if that's the name of like a little Bugs Pinchy Bits. Bugs Pinchy Bits. That's ridiculous. Do. Cool, here we go. Just do lots of little details and try and make them as interesting as possible. That's sort of the goal here. I'm not sure what to do in the mouth, because obviously there's a lot of detail here anyway, and if I add too much it will look messy, and if I shade it, if I ink that, not ink it, but fill it full of pen, it might look a bit messy. Oh, you know what, we can put some pencil in there. Let's do that. Could not tell you why I've decided to hold a pen and a pencil together. That feels really weird. It's the first time I've ever done that. How odd. Anyway. Nice. That's quite nice. I'm going to do got a little bit of chin hair there. He's a very devil-may-care kind of guy, And some little feelers. Cute. Not exactly cute, but, scary monster cute. I don't know what I'm talking about today. Very cool. And if anyone's drawing alongside today, I hope your drawing's going really well, and I'd love to know what you're drawing and how's it all going along and stuff. I'd like to know where people learn to draw from. I know a lot of people are self-taught, but I always find it really cool when people come from, really very artistic backgrounds and university degrees and all sorts of things, professional artists that have been doing it since they were 16, and that's so cool, isn't it? Some people do that stuff. yeah, it'd be cool to know what how everyone came to be the artists that they are already. The artists that they are already. Yeah, yeah, it was about as good at English that I usually do. Yeah, made total sense. Right. Yeah, very sketchy, but very, very fun to do. We might have to do some inking, not inking, but penciling afterwards. Because I think it'd look good actually if it had a little bit more stuff going on. Yeah, something like that. A few little hairs everywhere. How's he looking so far? Oh, he's very handsome. Look at that. What a handsome chap. Marv, you beautiful devil, you. Right. Sounds going alright. I mean, if anyone's paying attention to the shading and notice that none of it really makes sense, don't tell anyone else, okay? It's a secret. Yeah, don't tell people that I don't actually know what I'm doing. I have to pretend. So this was like, I think originally this was like the idea for a trachea sort of thing, like, you know, like a windpipe. So I guess it speaks. You know, I'd like to think that, you know, having a bit of a conversation, you know, before, you know, what needs to be done will happen, and, you know, I feel like Marv's quite a naughty chap. Yeah. Oh, he's only got one thing because I forgot to draw the line. Oh, no worries. He's this guy. He's just a really strange unicorn. Yeah. Alright, we do a little skull bit. And then we'll do a little bit of very sketchy inking. Very sketchy indeed. And we'll do some details. Do some little marks and, you know, not going over the top of the details or anything, just I want a certain look for the character, and I think I got it. Cool. And for this one, I think I'll do the same thing as I did before. So sort of lighter, and then more lines, more lines, more lines, more lines until there's darkness. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I like that. Alright, cool. And then lots of little ligaments and muscles that won't make any sense, but they will look cool nonetheless. And that's the main thing. As long as it looks cool, right? Doesn't matter if it's not anatomically correct. Cool. Well, I hope it doesn't matter anyway. If it does, just pretend that I know what I'm doing. That'd be great. Thank you. Right. Okay. We'll link up some of the ligaments and the muscles and, you know, almost like spider web sort of stuff. Again, Marv started of some excuse me. Oh, I'm losing my voice already. Marv started off as a skeleton-like creature, and somehow was evolved to this. I'm genuinely losing my voice. That will make videos tricky, but we'll see what we can do. Anyway, oh, that's better. Got my voice back. Anyway, right. I'll do the creepy trachea thingy and do some more little bits, and then here we're gonna just kind of make up some weird skeletal structure sort of thing. That'd be cool. Very nice. Nice. Okay. Do some little hairs on the back as well. And we won't actually finish the drawing, I don't think. I think it's quite cool to have it sort of fading into nothingness, it kind of gives the impression that there's a lot more there and more mystery of what the beast looks like, which is good because we've done a little bit more of the drawing of what he looks like on the next frame. So there won't be too much mystery, but just a little bit as your eyes kind of track from the left to the right. That's kind of the idea anyway. Cool. It's a very scratchy one, isn't it? It's kind of fun though. I feel like anyone that, is having a little bit of an artistic block, no matter what the medium is just go do something, like if it's drawing, just sketch some absolute rubbish, and have a bit of fun doing it. I think it's such a nice way to break free from a little bit of artistic block sometimes. Just, do whatever. Don't look for perfection. Just try have a bit of fun. And I wonder if that works for like music as well and other things. I don't really know. But if so, give it a go. Cool. So ugly, I love them. Right. And then the final frame. Oh, I nearly drew over the character. Good job not doing it. And we put the top of the frame much bigger than the bottom one, sort of to show the scale of the creature looking down on our little exterminator dude. Normally I do the boxes afterwards, but kind of wanted to do it just now, so I had a really good idea of what the plan was. And we kind of talked about something the other day, or the other week, maybe even the other month, I don't know, about don't over detail long shot images, because I found in the past, I mean you can do whatever you like, it's just me personally, I found that sorry, speaking for you, definitely not, when I'm drawing characters, I used to have this thing about always trying to draw as much detail as possible in every frame, and it would just feel really noisy and it would just be too much. Like a page would be hard work to look at, sort of thing. So now I try to draw a little bit less. Less is more sometimes. I think that would make sense. But yeah. Anyone listening thinking, what the hell is he talking about? I don't know. But in my head it made sense. So he's got like sort of this gun that's sort of connected to him. Kind of like maybe like a mechanical arm sort of thing. And he's like this big, bulky, almost like a beekeeper like suit. And he's got like a little flap down here for more added protection. And then little stumpy legs. He's very much a tank sort of character, I think, this dude. Maybe he's a dwarf. Never really thought much about the actual story of Spam, but, maybe it's sort of fantasy-esque characters mixed with like a futuristic setting. It's just a very confused story. Doesn't know what it is. But I think that's quite cool as well. He's got a few pipes down here, but we'll just put a few, just put a few little details of what's happening in the bigger image here. Hopefully it translates well enough that you know that this is the character that's on the left. But I didn't really leave much room for that. I could have put the gun or something down here just to make more sense, but it's fine. It looks alright. And then we'll do a long shot of Marv. Marv to his friends. Marvin, in the business world. And these are nice little spiky teeth. And then his little spine column. Cool. I can't really see what I've drawn here, but that's fine. We can kind of make up, most of it. It's really kind of cute, actually. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, another big one here, and then got some little dangly bits down here. Cool. He would have had another one if I had actually remembered to draw on this side, but he doesn't anymore, so that's okay. He'll be okay with that. And then we want to do lots of inking out to have that sort of mystery of how big Marv actually is. And he's always coming from the shadow, so we need some very janky inking along there. Perfect. Perfect. Far from it, but it's not too bad at all. And I can kind of disappear into the shadows, that one, and this one will do something very similar. Very similar to how his little mouth parts look, actually. He's definitely reaching down. He knows what's going on. Not very happy about it. I'll do another leg there actually as well, just completely blacked out. So you're trying to draw the information into the middle, so that's where people will look, sort of like this big gap here. And actually I can sort of aid that a little bit and do somewhat similar thing here with the flooring. That makes sense. And then because he's sort of stood over here, we'll have the light source almost in front of him, which almost makes sense with how I've shaded it. There we go. Like I said, we're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for Marv. That was bad, wasn't it? That was bad for me. He's got little hands. Nice. And then we're actually nearly to the end, but I think we might have to go over in pencil. Something I do, well, I used to do quite often in my drawings, just that mix of ink and pencil, but for some reason I haven't really been doing it on the channel. I think I'm always worried about a video going too long, and there's obviously going to be a point where I'm just talking absolute nonsense. I mean, it's not like I don't talk absolute nonsense anyway, but even extra nonsense. Okay. And then it's going to say, gonna need a bigger gun. Shout out to Jaws, right? Cool. Yeah, and we're at the Adventures of Spam, and well, if you want to see more of the Adventures of Spam, I don't think it will be an actual comic because it's a silly idea, but we certainly could do, like every now and again we could revisit the little story and just have maybe little mini stories and silly little ideas and things like that. That could be fun actually to do that. Oh, it's very scratchy, isn't it? It's quite nice to listen to. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it just adds a little bit more depth to the drawing as well, I think. I should have even checked. I didn't check. I should have checked what sort of pencil this was. I think it looks like about 2H. It is a 2H. I must have seen it earlier and then subconsciously remember that, because I'm terrible at remembering any sort of pencils or things like that. So no, definitely not a real artist. I just pretend one. Cool. I'll just do these little feeler things because they're quite cool. And yeah, very scratchy. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. I wonder how many people are drawing while I'm drawing. I feel like I'm missing out. Maybe I should find another channel to draw to while I'm drawing. And you can draw to with me in the background, drawing with someone else in the back. Oh, this is silly, sorry, I'll shut up. What am I talking about? There we go. Cool. Cool. And then over here, what should we... I should just do him real quick. Oh, this would be better than just drawing the weird little lines suddenly. But that looks alright too. That's okay, I think I got away with it. Yeah, this is the first time doing a little bit of penciling sort of stuff, even though it's super rough. I always like it, you know. I think it's got a nice feel to it. Don't need lots of pencil here, just to... I forgot his arm. Sorry, I've done it again. Look at this weirdness. Whatever. Oh, it feels horrible, actually. I don't like that. As I continue to do it. Right. And then, what should we name this dude? It's probably like... I don't know. Probably his name is like Butch or something, isn't it? Butch or... maybe Dave. Yeah, it'd be Dave. Actually, if my friend Dave is watching. Hey, Dave. I've drawn you. You're a bug man now. You're welcome. Cool. Yeah, we'll call that a day very shortly. Yeah, it's a little bit slapdash, isn't it? But I must admit, it's actually really nice just to do a bit of pencil. Only because it just brings a little bit more, I think a little bit more life to the drawing. And it's also a lot quicker than cross-hatching now. When you sort of shading with a pen, it just feels like it takes forever, and I don't know, sometimes I can mess up on that quite easy as well. Sometimes I just don't get the right look I'm going for. And then I'm like, oh no, I've done it again. Right, so, you know what? I think I'm happy with that. Let me put it over here. Ah, nice. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this ridiculous ramble as usual. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.